Hello and welcome to Roasting the World, where we offer an adversarial perspective on today's cultural issues. We do it for the intelligent culture. I'm your host. It's me, Keenan Robinson, aka Capone, or Mr. Robinson, or Big Pivot, whatever you want to call me, it's all gravy. So we have some very special guests today. To our right we have
Marvin L.A. Fisher.
We got Marvin L.A. Fisher, and then we also have
Yes.
We got Yes. Yes is in the building too. So, let's just kick it off. You want to tell us a little bit about yourselves before we get started?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ooh-wee. I'm a project manager for, some 18 years now. I'm a published author. I've acted in a movie. I'm a proud father of 3.
Absolutely.
College degree.
Winning.
Dang, I should have gone first. That ain't make me look bad.
All right.
I'm just Yes.
She's an actress also, and a mother, and very accomplished at a lot of different things.
Model.
Right.
Definitely a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
I also have been in movies and modeled and been ambassador and just living life.
Absolutely. So, our topic today to be roasted is the struggle. Dun, 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 dun. So, this is a very wide topic. We can go a lot of direction with it. People being on the struggle bus, because I know I've been on that mug a lot, especially here lately. But, so I just speak from, some experience. Something like, right? I'm not a morning person. I struggle in the morning getting up. I know I got to get to the bag. I know I got to do everything I need to do. But I try to prepare myself for the struggle sometime if I can. Like I iron my clothes the night before. I know what I'm wearing. Like I set my alarm. These are all things to help you be able to get past the struggle, right? So then when I get to work, then there's people in there that's like, hey, how you doing today? And I'm like, dude, shut up. Because I'm not ready yet to people. But that's a struggle that I've been dealing with, and as you get higher in your, job title or whatever, or become just a boss, you kind of got to be nice to people sometimes, especially even when you don't want to, like in the morning when you're not a morning person and you're struggling. So that's something that I struggle with, and I was on the struggle bus, so yeah. But go ahead, anybody else?
I mean, as you said that, it kind of dawned on me something that helps alleviate your struggle for the next day.
Okay.
I need to be taking notes, y'all.
When you said that the night before you'll iron your clothes or whatever, just so in the morning your next day goes smoother.
Yeah.
So the building blocks that you're putting together today helps your tomorrow.
Absolutely.
But if you ain't put in no effort today for your tomorrow, then tomorrow's gonna be more of a struggle than what you did today.
Absolutely.
So sitting there and doing nothing can't help your next day.
They say that your future is a direct reflection of what you do now.
That all sounds really good. But the real question is, where do you get the inspiration, the motivation to actually get up and having to do? Because for some of us, forget the actual doing the routine and getting your clothes, making yourself do that.
Right.
How do you get there?
Wow.
So for me personally, I'm all over the place, typically. So when I went to college, so you went to a different college than I did.
Right.
You got to pick your classes and your courses and what you're gonna take and when you're gonna take it, and
the time
you strategized
what was best for me.
Your course of study.
I didn't want to take a 5:45 a.m. class. I knew I was gonna be terrible.
So I went to a technical school where they told me what I was gonna take.
Right.
You show up at this time, you take this class, and you will get this result.
Right.
So it made it a non-thinking thing. It was just an action thing for me at that point.
Like the Army?
In a sense.
Like just being very structured.
Very structured. Just having the structure of it, whether I wanted to do it or not, wasn't necessarily debatable because it had to get done.
So are we saying that preparation and structure help alleviate some of the struggle? with life, or just
it definitely calms down the mental thought of what I need to do, when do I need to do it,
and being prepared to do it.
Because you
Okay.
can easily prepare for something that you already know that you have scheduled to do.
Right.
But if it's nothing on the schedule, then when do I feel like doing it?
Right. Right.
It's kind of up.
And it's to a degree too, because some people, like you were saying, if it's easier for some of us, for somebody to say you got to do this at this time, this way, and you're done this way, versus somebody handing you a napkin and say, hey, go get me a power presentation.
Right.
Two different ones. So how, like, is it like you stages? You get through that stage and then you go to the next one.
And then how do you prepare for the unexpected?
Uncertainty.
Yeah, I
is the
mean,
word.
you know, like we were talking about earlier today, the guy that you know, took his own life here recently. You know, we definitely have episodes on mental health and all that kind of stuff too. But you know, I think he had, and I'm quoting something that may not be right, so don't, you know, bite my head off. But he like lost some bread in a investment or something he had going on, as well as some other mental health challenges. And from the outside looking in, a lot of people was like, man, you was living a life, you could have got that money back, you know, but it was so unexpected, and maybe it hit him at the wrong time. Maybe he was already struggling for something, and that last little thing is what pushed him kind of over, you know, over the limit, you know, and that's more of a heavy type of struggle, you know what I mean? Like,
And it can happen to anybody at any level, I believe. If any person in any job, you create a lifestyle around what you're normally making.
okay,
And
okay,
if you experience a loss, a layoff, or whatever, then there's usually a stress involved with that, with how you keep going in the manner that you were going.
right,
Not, oh, I can downsize and then build back up.
right,
It's just like, oh, I'm falling off and I'm falling off the edge
right.
type of feeling.
I remember when I had a good job title, right? And I did that job title for several years, and I put a lot into it. But and then like boom,
Defined you.
it kind of like when somebody says, "Well, what do you do?" Oh,
Who are you?
I'm a president of the United States.
Who are you?
Who are you?
What do you
Right?
do?
Who are you?
What do
Define,
you do?
like, especially when women ask men that kind of stuff. Our job is really important on what we gonna say.
It
you know?
determines
like
where it
I'm
goes.
whatever, you know, or you know, I'm an entrepreneur, whatever it is. But anyway, I lost that job, and I thought to myself, like, who am I without? Like, if I no longer was even able to go back to this field or this job, you know, that was my identity was kind of wiped a little bit, as far as, because I had poured so much into work. You know, when you work, you there 8 hours a day plus 5 days a week, and they feeding your family, so you become a really honest employee. You in there doing what you got to do, you know. So when that was taken from me, then I felt like, who was I? So I had to redefine myself outside of my job. Like, hey, you're still a father. Hey, you're still you still do music. You still produce films. You still do these things. They have not taken away. They can't take who you are away by taking something from you. Now, if somebody takes, let's say your kid, let's say your spouse, let's say your mother or father, somebody like that, how do you
Deal with that.
Yeah, because that's a heavier struggle, you know.
That was going to be my next question. Like, if you were, what it would take for you to say, damn, I'm thinking about killing myself. Like, because you think Twitch, he was famous, he had money, or at some point had money. He had
Wife,
friends in
kids,
high places,
yeah.
wife, kids,
Living somebody's dream.
So, and then you think, outside looking in, right? What could have caused somebody to say, I don't want to be here no more, when their life looks the way it looks? So then you start to kind of question reality, like what?
Well, that's kind of like the painted picture thing, where people put a front on and say, hey, look at me, I'm all these things. Like preachers sometimes, or people in high positions, they have to have a certain way about them, carry themselves in order to be professional, I guess, sometimes. Even Robin Williams, you know, and a few other people like that, they put on that front like everything is happy, even to their family. And I was watching an interview, I can't remember who it was, but the lady was like, when you come home, you got to give me that same fakeness that you give the world, because we want to see you happy. We want to see you smile. We want to see you be able to interact with us just like you give to them out there in the world, and you're able to not come in here and beat up and with your head down. You know, you got to struggle even with moms. Look at moms. I'm going to take it off of there and say moms. Moms will go to work all day, got to come home. They got to cook, probably clean, deal with some homework, make sure everybody's emotionally healthy, perform their wifely duties and all that kind of stuff. They may have had a bad day, and they're struggling. But they got to come in here and put on a happy face for everybody else. And the man was like, I don't want to do that. I want to come home and be able to show you the real me. And the woman was like, no, we don't want to see that. I mean, it's like when we by ourselves, cool, but your children deserve to see you at your best, regardless of how you really feel.
Yeah.
You could be beat up, but they need to see you on top of your game.
So key thing is, you said, you know, she has to cook. The woman doesn't have to cook, but she is usually the one that is the most concerned that everybody eats.
They gonna give some raviolis or them pizzas or something.
Yes.
I mean, dads have their moments, and there's some dads that be on it more so than not.
But that wasn't the whole point of what I was saying.
I totally was.
It was like they got to get their face.
I'm waiting for the food to come out.
Right, they got to get their face together to go in the house. They got to pick up the
for sure.
And that is a struggle to be able to put on that every day.
But see, I don't see it that way.
Okay.
So I've been talking to some other friends, and we see it the opposite way. Like, your house should be your sanctuary. That's your safe space. This is where you take all of that off, and you are you, and you are loved, and you're received and accepted, because this is your safe space. Because the minute you walk out that door, like, you put on your armor and you fight the world, and then you gotta rest somewhere, right? You gotta have your space somewhere. And to me, it makes sense. Like, make that your safe space, like your people closest to you, like Robin Williams. I don't know if his wife knew that he was going through what he was going through, but why? If she didn't, why? If that was the closest person to him, that should have been his sanctuary, right?
Right. That's true. I mean, some people don't like to talk about how they feel and different things. Like, sometimes I don't want to give it life by talking about it. I just want to be done with it. And then I'm in a mood. You know what I mean? I act a certain way, and people can pick up on that energy, you know?
Right.
Because I'm really am dealing with something, but it's inside. I remember Fisher was picking me up from McDonald's when I was 15 on his motorcycle, right?
Way.
Maybe I was 16. I don't know. We was young. And, you know, I was talking to him about the struggle I was having with my mom and her being incarcerated, and, you know, a few things that was going on, like in my heart, in my family life, I was struggling with. And he said, man, why you always talk about that? And I couldn't answer why. But as I got older, I understood, because it was something I was still struggling with. I had not had a resolution, or, you know, a place where I was done, you know, and had, you know, just had a peaceful place. I wasn't at peace with it.
But it was so it wasn't like that you just kept repeating it. Like, as somebody that cared for you and cared about you, there was no resolve for it.
Right.
I kept hearing a story loop, and I had compassion for you. You know what I mean? I had love for you and understood your situation, and not understood it, but had heard it, like fully felt what you was going through multiple times. And every time you told us a story, you had that same emotion behind it. So it's like, this emotion keeps coming up, but there's no resolve for it. Right.
And I get that, because it wasn't something that was resolved. It was ongoing, and it was getting re-triggered a lot. Even being able to watch you, mom, dad, granddad, grandmom, family, right? And I'm thinking in my head, like, why I can't have a family? For a kid, that's triggering.
Yeah, that's right.
What did I do? How come I can't just say, you know? So then your family became my family.
Right.
We brothers, it's my mom, you know, things like, and I was like, this is how that feels. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool, like, to feel like somebody cared. Like, I remember when Pops, we was at the what's it called, the skating rink, and the little dude was like, y'all some thugs.
Okay, so the struggle. So
one.
some of the struggle is just being dark skinned sometimes, and people don't really understand.
Or light skin.
Or light skin.
Right.
Because it was summertime, I had a little bit more attention. But you know, just we was walking up and we were going to a skate center as kids.
Yes.
And we go to church at that time, you know what I mean, for sure. Like, played on the basketball team at church.
Yeah.
Won the championship.
We wasn't doing nothing wrong.
So, and to play on a basketball team, you had to go to church with your Bible. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I'm a Bible carrying kid.
Yeah.
I try to go off into the skate center, and then we get stopped. It's like, nah, we don't let hoodlums in here.
Right.
Oh wow.
Right.
Wow. Really?
Right. And it was a person of color.
Oh, can I use your phone so I can call my ride?
Right.
Dead.
Oh boy.
I thought you were skating. Well, yeah, about that.
Right.
The guy said he doesn't allow hoodlums into his establishment, so I cannot go into the building. Will you please come pick me up?
Right.
Hoodlum? He called you a hoodlum?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm on my way.
Yep.
Click up.
Oh.
Right. And then, okay, so when he got there, you know, we were just like hot.
Man, Pops is about to pop on the police.
How old were y'all?
Was like 15,
Man,
16?
I wasn't driving, so
Yeah, he was probably like
so
14.
I was on a motorcycle at 15, motorcycle
Yeah.
license at 15.
We was probably
So,
motorcycling.
and it was nighttime, so I couldn't be on the motorcycle. So it
Yeah.
was probably 15, 16.
So when he gets there, the dude is still stalking us, right?
Right.
And he made a move to walk towards us.
He went, yeah, I'm standing against the
And
wall.
Pop swole up.
And I couldn't go nowhere. Man.
He swole up on him so, whoa, what? And he
And then
started,
the cop-
he started clutching,
And
man.
the cop started to clutch his little
Yeah.
thing. Pops was gonna put his hands on it.
He was like, whoa, whoa. He said, man, you might be tripping. What you trying to do? Like, he was protecting us because we couldn't
after he
protect
disrespected us.
because we couldn't protect ourselves. We didn't know how to respond to that. And I think a lot of people don't know how to respond to some of the things that are
Yeah.
happening. I think when you're a person that has been through some things, like, then it's easier sometimes for you to be able to deal with other things that come. Especially if you get out of those things. You experience victory. You say, I've overcome this before. I've been this and that. And then something else comes and you're like, man, that's nothing. And I think a lot of people sometimes feel like that. But for people that may not have had that type of, you know, toughening of the skin and the mind, it's difficult. And then some stuff is just too much.
Yeah, because it's building up a tolerance. You know, it's skateboarding in a sense.
Right.
You know, if you're walking and you trip and you fall, you be like, oh snap.
Right.
You get on the
We
skateboard,
should
you
have
fall.
to do that though.
But
We
Why
really
not?
shouldn't have to, like, we should be able to help each other. Like your parents, like they took him in.
Right.
And so we don't feel alone, but instead most of us are like, oh, you know, it's not my
I mean, the
business.
community setting is way more productive.
It really
It's
does
whack
make a
right
village.
now, though. It's whack right now.
Whack everybody for themselves right
It's
now.
whack right now.
Yes.
It's terrible.
It really does take a
You
village.
know? But then you got people that play the system so, like, they don't want to work. They just want to sit by the sideline and be like, I need this. Oh, you won't give it to me? Oh, because I had a tough childhood, I can't work. Like, ain't nothing wrong with you, but you just don't want to do nothing, or you don't have a drive. You don't want anything better for yourself. And I don't feel like that's the right way to think. Like, I can't control nobody else but me, and I never have thought that way. Even when I was young, I went out and got me a job so I can get some money so I can take care of myself, because I knew there wasn't nobody coming to save me. A lot of people feel like somebody's coming to save them. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I got people, grown men right now, that's like, man, I'm just gonna chill and sleep with this girl, live on her couch, or like just, you know, whatever to get by. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like, that's cool for a little bit if you're trying to get on your feet, but that can't be the end goal. I remember this one chick, she was a stripper. She stripped until she was able to buy her house. She got her a better job, and she changed her life through that. So, of course, I've had to do things I didn't want to do to get where I wanted to go, but the goal
But
is
you
not
don't
to stay right there.
You like Cat Williams said.
It's like they want to stay in the struggle. I want that to be as least as possible. You know what I mean? They want to stay there. Oh yeah, let me get comfortable in this mug. You know, we ain't got no food. That's okay. We can go, whatever.
It's like I wasn't even hungry anyway.
Right.
Yes.
And I'm like, bro, come on. You got kids. You got, you know, and then they came up with a defeatist or a struggle mentality, or they go the opposite way and they feel like I got to get it. You know what I'm saying? So either they gonna come do either one. right? And the ones that's got to get it, they're gonna get it by any means necessary. You know what they're gonna be D-boys. They're gonna be robbing. They're gonna be stealing. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be out here selling whatever, trying to get whatever, or they're gonna be hard working and get whatever they got to do through working or start a job. Might be cutting grass. You know what I'm saying? They might be shoveling snow, whatever. But they gonna get it. Now the other side of that is they're gonna be chilling, waiting on somebody to give them some, calling your phone. Hey man, you got $30? You got $60? I'm gonna get it to you next week. Next week come, you don't even talk to them. They call them, oh man, I ain't even got it. And then they call you a month later, man, you got $200? And I'm like, buddy, man, what is you doing, homie?
So, what do you think it is? Like, cause there's way too many of us that way. At some point in time, I almost feel like it's mental health. I
think cause they're allowed to be that way. Cause what would happen if nobody was there? What happens? What's the alternative? Homelessness, you know, then that really strict poverty. And if you don't want to live like that and you can do something about it, most people try to do something about it. I know it's mental health issues and that kind of stuff, but a lot of people do stuff about it if they can, you know?
Inflation don't help.
Man,
at all.
Ooh, that's a struggle right there by itself.
I got all of us making life decisions.
I remember I was paying $375 for rent. I had a 2-bedroom apartment, man.
Man, bro, man. Okay, so when I'm on child support and then the gas is $100 for the fill up tank, and then and then you want to get a lawyer to try to fix your situation from how you been screwed. That's a $1,500, $3,000 retainer right there. Just for him
to say I'm with him.
That's just the retainer.
And that's just you trying to be a father or a husband or.
That's trying to prove my innocence. Before I'm guilty.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and that's a whole different thing. The judicial system is not set up the right way. We got too many people in prison, man. And
too many that need to be in there are walking around free.
Right. And we need some reform, bro. Like, for real, because once you do something at 18, you 65 now. It's still on your record. You still like, nah, you remember when you was 18 and you slapped somebody, buddy?
Yes.
You still a felon.
The struggle.
That's crazy.
So personal, but man, something I did 20 years ago came back and affected my job 20 years later.
What happened? I mean, tell the people.
That's for these people.
Wow.
So gets the ratings up. Clickbait.
I'm trying to get it expunged.
Oh, okay. We ain't gonna talk about that bit.
But so it should have been expunged.
Right.
But okay. So the struggle was trusting the authority.
Right.
When I was younger, I had just turned 18. My dog got loose and got in a fight with another dog.
Right.
They ran away.
Okay.
By the time I found the dog, you know what I mean, like, went to go get him.
Sound like some Michael Vick.
This was before Mike Vick. But it was the lady trying to treat me like I was Mike Vick. You know, the animal control lady wanted to charge me with a felony.
Right.
And really, when the cop asked me what happened, I was like, the dogs got in a fight.
Right.
And try to separate them, get them back to the house. And from that.
But how do you get a felony for that? Like, you weren't the one fighting?
Animal cruelty.
Makes sense.
Man, if that was the case, I should have got a whole bunch of animal. Cause my dog used to break out the front door, boom, terrorize the neighborhood, bruh. Like for a bit, 4 people and some other dogs.
So the charge was, felony animal fighting, but it was dropped down to misdemeanor animal cruelty.
Okay.
It was a felony?
Yeah.
The struggle,
and
man.
I just turned 18, and then she tried to throw the book at me, hit me with a felony at an early age.
That sucks.
And really, I was being honest with the cop. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't nothing, no big crime going on. But then his perception of it went into the phone call. But then her perception of it flipped.
I think that word perception is very important.
Man, is it important? Yes.
Why is it important?
It's important. This is why. I was talking to somebody today because I had some issues too. But it's important because, especially in the law, like for example, like something that somebody did, cops will be like, or the people in the court will be like, it is this way and it's got to be this way. Sometimes morals go in. Sometimes it wasn't on purpose.
Gray area.
So the gray area is that, like, sometimes you gotta be human and be compassionate and say, even though this says it's supposed to be this, I know right and wrong and I know it should be this.
Right.
That, like.
So sometimes you're saying you should give people grace.
Yeah.
Man.
Grace.
Yeah.
So when you're going through the struggle, you require grace and you need to give grace to people that's around you too, because your energy be off sometimes when you're struggling. You know what I'm saying? So you need people to understand that, and you need to understand how you're being perceived, and give grace and get grace in the struggle.
All right, so I had a struggle. I was involved in a struggle about 3 years ago. Major change and twist in my life.
Right.
And then I got run over by a car.
What?
But he survived.
I'm still here. But it was a tire mark on my neck, arm got sliced open, broke ribs, like full on ran over by. I was on a motorcycle, got ran over by a car, head on collision.
Right.
And I was already going through relationship challenges before that. I was involved in a struggle, but then I couldn't really do nothing because I couldn't move. All I could do is heal.
So you got a compound struggle, like double struggle.
But the struggle of me physically not being able to do nothing set me free from the expectation struggle of society.
Okay. Okay.
That part is very important gray area.
It was a very healing feeling, because then I could be gratitude that I was just still alive.
And you were being taken care of because
Like,
you were down and they understood.
But
Not even-
gratitude because you're just alive gets people through struggle.
It's
Yeah.
a healing. It's a healing
Yeah.
mechanism. Gratitude creates a healing mechanism.
Right.
It is a bounce back.
Right.
If you're complaining, then you're
You're
low
right.
vibration,
Yeah.
low frequency.
Right.
But once you start having gratitude, your frequency, your vibration starts rising.
Right.
You'll start having magnetism of that coming around you.
Right.
Misery loves company, but if you're not focused on the misery, then your gratitude, it loves company too.
And then that hurt people to where your energy is contagious. So if you scream at a kid, the kid gonna go scream at a teacher. You know what I'm saying? And it just comes in a
Yeah,
circle.
kid gonna feel some type of way, like, dang,
Yeah.
I thought we was cool.
Yeah. So let's
Not
kind
if it's
of
at 5 a.m.
right. Let's recap a little bit though. You said that. So we talked about grace helping with the struggle. We talked about
Gratitude.
your gratitude helping with the struggle. Your community and other people around you and family and things of that nature to help you with the struggle. And then there's a spiritual piece to it too, to where, you know, sometimes when you're spiritually grounded in, you know, higher powers and different things of that nature also help you get through some of the struggles of life.
100%.
Yeah. So those are kind of 4 different solutions, you know, to help not everybody, but whomever this is for, to help with the struggle.
Yeah.
You know? So on Roasting the World, we have what's called roasted or toasted. So if you roast something, that means that we don't need to talk about it no more. You toss it in the fire, so to speak. But if you toast
Burn it
something,
up.
right, if you toast something, it means that, hey, you raise your glass to it and it's something that we need to discuss more. So this topic of the struggle, and I'm so glad, shout out to Marvin for even coming up with the topic, because, you know, that was something that I hadn't thought about. And I was like, you know, what would be good to talk about? And he said, man, the struggle, like, and that's just real.
He said, which one?
is that what I said?
This seems to go and branch out.
Right, which one? That sounds like what I would say too. So I'm gonna give you a chance first, Marvin, to talk about whether you want to roast or toast the topic of the struggle. Talk to the people, tell them anything that you would want them to know, you know, in a couple minutes, just to tell the people your view and how you're living and what you would like for them to see, and to what game you want to give them about struggle.
All right. Okay. So I've grabbed my glass and toasted this one
Mm-hmm.
of the struggle. It is it's a great topic, and ultimately, there's a lot of people that love an underdog. So, an underdog has a struggle, and they overcome the struggle. So, I want to just to be encouraging to just work to overcome the struggle, whatever it is, because there's victory in that, and within victory, there's just all kinds of great mycelium effect of goodness in your body. You know, we've all been involved in a film called Nothing Without God, and I truly believe that, you know,
It really is nothing without
that
God.
there is nothing without God.
Right.
And only because of God that I've been able to be peaceful in any struggle that I've been in. No matter if I've been wronged or not, like, because of God, like, it's okay. Even if it's not on morals. Morals will give people like, oh, morally it's this or that. Or principle, that's what I mean. The principle of the matter. Principle of the matter is God got me, so whatever struggle it is, I'm with him as I'm doing it. Not just giving it to him, but I'm working with him through the struggle. So
This too shall pass, kind of.
this too shall pass.
All right, so we're gonna move to Miss Yes. All right, Yes. Let us know whether you want to
All
roast
right.
or toast.
Well, I don't want to toast to this because it's not really a good, happy topic, but I do want to toast to it because, like you were saying, which one? Which one? I think there's a lot of things that we could talk about. I think it is very, very important that we support each other, that we're able to be honest and talk about things that are taboo but should be talked about. We should be there and be able to say to each other, hey brother, I got you, hey sister, I got you. And I think this is a very good way, aside from other different avenues, to do that. So I say let's toast on.
Absolutely, I appreciate that, and I also want to toast the topic because it is something that I've had to do my whole life. So you know, and I know on the other side it's always better, and especially when you get those victories. So continue to struggle, my brothers and sisters, and get those victories, and we fight on. But until next time, please keep struggling, keep striving. And, you know, stay ready so you don't got to get ready. And stay tuned for another exciting episode of Roasting the World. Peace.